Let's review what we've looked at so far. God's mission is our mission. The mission informs the church. The church lives as Jesus lived, and the church conveys the kingdom. It wasn't long after the church began that it soon felt the heat of persecution. So prevalent was persecution among the Christians that to be a Christian was thought to be synonymous with one who suffered. And the early church father, Tertullian, would write that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. Such was the hostility of the Roman state against Christians. But then in 313 AD, something miraculous occurred. Roman Emperor Constantine became a Christian. On the eve of a decisive battle, he looked to the sky and he saw a vision, either the first two letters in the word Christ or cross, depending on the account that you read. And he also heard a voice that said, "In this sign conquer." He won the battle, and from that time on, the persecution against the Christians was ended. In fact, Christianity was given royal assent. It was given the royal seal of approval. And as Christianity became comfortable in the seat of power, it began to morph. It moved from being abused to becoming approved. And then from approved, it became advantageous. And from advantageous, it became aggressive. Now the once persecuted minority had become the persecuting majority and reflected very little of the kingdom that Jesus had inaugurated. It was now assumed that all people were Christians. Sunday was a day where church attendance was required, massive ornate buildings were constructed, and there was a strong distinction between clergy who did ministry and laity who were largely passive. And the use of military force was used to convert the heathen. This cultural and political entanglement known as Christendom has had long-lasting implications for the church, not the least of which was a loss of compassionate missionary impetus. But over the past 50 years, Western culture has experienced a shift, and the once favored place of Christianity has been removed. The shift has forced the church to rediscover its missional identity. The church could no longer remain as a static religious institution, but now needed to recover the original DNA as a dynamic, revolutionary, social and spiritual movement. No longer can our efforts at reaching out to others simply be an invitation to come to church. The church must come to the people. No longer can the church afford the luxury of rituals and symbols that others must learn in order to appreciate and participate. Now the church needs to integrate their faith into all of its everyday life in such ways as to communicate the good news of God's kingdom in a way that others might understand. Furthermore, the church can no longer assume that ministry is the domain of paid clergy. In fact, the ministry belongs to the laity. Every person in the church has been gifted by God, and in that sense, all people are clergy. But if you read the pages of the Bible, you will not find the term clergy. In fact, all that we're called is laity, which means literally the people of God. And the ministry has been given to all of us. And in Jesus' movement, we each have a part to play. God's mission is our mission. The mission forms the church. The church lives like Jesus lived. The church conveys the kingdom. And in the Jesus movement, we all have a part to play.